Wales are down under. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Chip Over the Top Rugby podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about Wales v Australia. The tour is here and we are in test match week. But if you are new here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. You know all the good stuff. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Smash the subscribe button if you are new here and you want more content. I very do much appreciate it. Anyway, a quick little recap, if you will. I immediately sort of wanted to do a video following the Wales v South Africa game. Obviously, we all know the result to that, and give my sort of thoughts and analysis, don't know what I was speaking there, on the game, because there was a lot of noise sort of online surrounding that game, but I figured I would wait and do a longer video for you all, which is what this video is. So before we get into it, again, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe below. So Wales lost to South Africa. Now, a lot of people did sort of expect that. I expected that result. I did think it would be a little bit closer, but I do think there was some unfair sort of calls. You know, the 2 yellow cards certainly didn't help at the beginning there. And I do think South Africa could have gone down to 14 players maybe. Do apologize. Yeah, they could have. South Africa could have gone easily down to 14 players. There was the high ball catch where his leg caught the neck, and you can, if you look at that, I saw his eyes adjust. Let me know what you think below. Did you see his eyes adjust and then he lifted his foot up? I personally do think so. I mean, that could have been a defensive reaction, I suppose, but I think when you see your eyes look up and you know that player is coming and you purposely lift your leg, then that's foul play. And then there was a head contact. I think it was Mabonambi, where he went into a clear out and there was clear on head on collision, and that could have been detrimental as well. But anyway, but let's also not forget, right, Wales were without arguably 3 to 4 starters in that game, or first choice players, would you say, with the English players not being available for selection due to the match falling outside of the international window. So with the players like Nodav Jenkins, Tommy Rafael, Dylan Lewis, probably arguably the best tight head scrummager that Wales have right now. No Chunza, no Tompkins, no Archie Griffin, no call-ups in Hathaway or Grace. Obviously, they apply their trade in Gloucester and Bath, respectively. So, lots of noise surrounding that game. And a lot of people, were saying about the poor scrummaging. Like, there was comments online saying you need 2 props who can scrummage, right? Too much kicking, 2 phases. You're not breaking through the line with Mason Grady's going up, getting smashed. You've got no forward ball, not really any players that are able to break over the gain line without,
I think Mason is probably the most gifted athlete.
Welsh Rugby has had since George Moore. If you're just going one-up runners, boom, it's not working, 2 phases, you're not getting any penetration, the ball's going to go skyward. That is the game plan.
Many nuances to
Sam Costello,
to play an inside centre. He's going to be challenged defensively.
I will say though, Ellis Bevan with the left foot,
his ability with the ball in hand to get Wales on the front foot.
But where that usually works for Wales is when the kick chase is absolutely on point. Sometimes the ball was just going a little bit too far forward and the South African back 3 just easy to marshal that, right? So but yeah, anyway, I've already discussed controversial card decisions, but yeah, my thought first and foremost on the too much kicking, I agree, there's not really any go forward ball at the moment. We didn't have that many physical ball carriers around the park. Dewi Lake, obviously the standout there. Wainwright wasn't really able to get up ahead of steam. Mason Grady at 12 didn't work quite as effectively because it was just an easy read. And I think what will change that is that if you were able to have a physical ball carrying 10, obviously Sam Costello's very slight. He's only 5'9", 5'8". He's not a big lump. He's very good defensively, but in attack, you can't rely on him to press the gain line. Because it's just going to be easily to be defended, right? So maybe we'll see a slight change at 10, 12 going into the Wales v Australia tour. So Anyway, that's my thought. And on the back end of the sort of the scrummaging issue, don't forget, you didn't have the strongest type 5, right? You didn't have Dav Jenkins or Tunza in there, for example. And the locks really in the scrum are the power engine, right? Yes, you've got to have a good front three. You've got to have a good loose hooker and tie head. But your second rows make a big bulk there. So, you've got not inexperienced in terms of professionally, but Screech and Carter, not the biggest lumps in the world, right? When you compare to sort of like your Rowlands or your Beard, right? Or Dav Jenkins, for example. So I think we just need to sort of put that to a side and take it as it is. We knew South Africa were going to win. They came in with a strong pack. Like, you just have to look at it. Eben Etzebeth had 119 caps compared to the entire forward pack of Wales only had 118. And that, that's enough said, right? So anyway, Wales v Australia, first test is this weekend, July 6th. Now, for a reminder, if you didn't know what the touring squad is, it's just real quick, going to run this off. Corey Domachowski, Kemsley Matthias, Gareth Thomas, Dewi Lake, who's captain, Evan Lloyd, Evan Daniel, Archie Griffin, Dylan Lewis, Harry O'Connor. Then you've got Ben Carter, Corey Hill, Dav Jenkins, Matthew Screech, Chris Tunza, James Botham, Mackenzie Martin, Tame Plumtree, Tommy Raphael, and Aaron Wainwright. Now for the backs, you have Ellis Bevan, Gareth Davis, Kieran Hardy, Sam Costello, the only 10 that has been selected, out and out 10. Mason Grady, Eddie James, Ben Thomas, who is going to be playing 10-12, I would imagine, Nick Tompkins, Owen Watkins, Rio Dyer, Regan Grace, Josh Hathaway, Liam Williams, Jacob Beetham, who again can play 10-12. He came off the bench on the weekend against South Africa and filled in at 10. Did pretty well, actually, as well. And then Cam Winnett. So, not a terrible selection, really, if you think about it. It's quite exciting. So, the only issue that I see with this is that the only out-and-out 10 we have is Sam Costello. He is a slight individual. And that is an issue right now in Wales, right? So you just have to look at it. The best probably fly half in Wales right now, playing regionally, is probably Dan Edwards. But he's the same build as Sam Costello, right? He's 5'9", he's pretty small. He's elusive, he's good going into attack, but defensively, if you have someone who's absolutely massive running down that channel, it's just sort of an attack point that is going to be a weakness if you just keep getting hounded and hounded and hounded, right? Not to say that he's not able or capable, but I think, like me, Warren Gatland prefers a big 10, right? A bit more physical 10. So just think like Owen Farrell, Johnny Wilkinson, Henson. Those players could also play at 12 if needed, right? Which is why I think we will see maybe Test 1, Test 2, but definitely against the Reds, I think we'll see probably Beetham or Ben Thomas feature at 10. Now, before I get into the Wales v Australia Test 1 selection that I've got, I just want to say, if you haven't yet watched the Wales v New Zealand under-20 game that just happened on the weekend, it was absolutely incredible. The future is incredibly bright for Welsh Rugby because there are some outstanding prospects coming through that under-20s, right? Obviously, I personally won't be surprised if we see a couple of those players feature either in the autumn or towards the Six Nations, right? And I'll let you decide who you think is going to be featured. But I personally think Louis Hennessy, right? And Morgan Morse, obviously we know, outstanding players. But there was a couple other players around the park that were just incredible. So I'm really excited for that. Now, you know me, I usually like to make a separate video on the selection. But it is Monday, the 1st of July. Warren Gatland is in Australia. Time ahead, right? He is probably going to pick his Welsh team probably tomorrow. So I want to get this video out and I want to pick my Wales v Australia first test selection. And I've gone a bit bold. Let me know your thoughts below, right? Without further ado, here is my squad. Starting off, front row, Corey Domachowski. Dewi Lake is obviously captain. And I think from a scrummaging standpoint, Dylan Lewis at 3. 4, Dav Jenkins. 5, Tunza. Now, bearing in mind, he has been playing at lock for Exeter alongside Dav Jenkins. So that 4-5 partnership right there working well. In the back row, I've gone Tame Plumtree, Tommy Raphael, and Aaron Wainwright. Then in the backs, Ellis Bevan, I think he did very well against South Africa, and he's a left-footed option just to clear the lines as well. That makes a huge difference. Now, personally, for me, I know Sam Costello is going to be the number 10 to start. But I personally would like to see Beetham starting at 10. It's controversial, but I think that physical ball carrier, he adds a second dimension. And he's a decent slot kicker as well, and he's probably been working with Neil Jenkins on his kicking form. So, I'd like to see Beetham at 10. And then Rio Dyer at 11. I think you bring Nick Tompkins back in at 12. He's been playing decently for Saracens, in the Premiership recently, and he's been there, he's done it. He adds that sort of extra dog at 12, if you will, and it works, right? When he's had North outside him, that partnership was incredible. And I think the day of seeing Grady at 12 is over, so Grady goes back to 13, right? So just run through it again. Ellis Bevan 9, Jacob Beetham at 10, Rio Dyer 11, Tompkins 12, Grady 13. Now, here's where I think I want to go bold. I know for a fact it's probably going to be Liam Williams at 14 to add an element of experience in that back line. However, Josh Hathaway, right? He is the Lewis Rees-Zammit replacement, in my opinion. We need him starting. We need that speed, that just raw ability to just score in like small amounts of space. Little chip over the top, beat your defender, boom, catch, gone. Incredible finisher for Gloucester this season. So I'd love to see Hathaway there. And then at 15, I've gone with Cam Winnett. So that's the 1 through 15. I'll recap it. Domachowski, Lake, Lewis, Jenkins, Tunza, Plumtree, Rafael, Wainwright, Bevan, Beetham, Dyer, Tompkins, Grady, Hathaway, and Cam Winnett. On the bench, I think he's going to go Gareth Thomas, Evan Lloyd, Archie Griffin. I think Ben Carter will cover the locks. And then I do believe Mackenzie Martin will cover the rest of the back row. In terms of the backs, I think we go Kieran Hardy. And if it's not Beetham starting at 10, this next person will either be Ben Thomas, Beetham, or Costello. One of the three, right? Whichever one. Obviously, Ben Thomas and Beetham can cover multiple positions. They're like a utility back. Sort of think of Blair Kinghorn for Scotland, right? And then the remainder would be Liam Williams if he's not starting immediately. If he is starting, that will probably be Hathaway or Grace. Now, this is a very bold prediction. I personally love that physical 10 option, but you will need cover at 10 on the bench, whether that is Sam Costello or Ben Thomas. Anyway, I guess we'll soon find out, right? Gatland's probably going to announce this squad very, very soon. Let me know your thoughts below. I very much appreciate it. Make sure you comment below on your thoughts. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new here. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Chip Over the Top Rugby Podcast.